Okay, so we're on week 3 of our The Women of the Bible and You, a weekly devotional. It's called Less Money, More Problems. The Bible verse is Ruth 2, verses 2 and 3. And Ruth the Moabite said to Naomi, "Let me go to the field and glean among the ears of grain, behind someone in whose sight I may find favor." She said to her, "Go, my daughter." So she went. She came and gleaned in the fields behind the reapers. In the book of Ruth, Naomi and her two daughter-in-laws, Ruth and Orpah, are part of a beautifully diverse family living in Ruth and Orpah's home country, Moab. But then the men of the family die, leaving Naomi without sons and all three women without husbands. Determined to support Naomi, Orpah, and Ruth, Determined to support Naomi, Orpah and Ruth want to accompany her back to her hometown of Bethlehem. But Naomi demands that they go back. She sees no way she can help them and figures they'll fare better in Moab. Orpah concedes and tearfully returns. But Ruth famously refuses. She has made up her mind that if she must find a new life, it will not be in Moab with her own people. It will be in Bethlehem with Naomi and hers. One problem. They have no money, no men, and no plan. This was no small thing for women in their world. In their culture, men had the power and family inheritance was patrilineal. If a woman had no connection to a man, she had no real economic stability. Ruth and Naomi's loss wasn't merely emotional, it also left them poor and very vulnerable. At its core, this story is about the human spirit's desire to triumph over tragedy. When we encounter Ruth in chapter 2, she's plotting a comeback with no budget and no husband, fueled by a determination to make this new life work and by a deep devotion to Naomi. This is a classic story of a woman doing what she had to do. She had to make a way for herself and her new family, even if she had to scrimp and save for the rest of her life. So she headed to a field owned by a man she had never met, to glean what the reapers left behind, alongside people she didn't know in a brand new country she had never visited. This put her in a position to meet Boaz, who later married her and redeemed Naomi's husband's field, essentially reversing their fortunes for the better. But that only happened after Naomi coached Ruth on how to approach him. The fact that so many writers, teachers, and preachers believe that "wait for your Boaz" is the lesson here reflects our society's patriarchal tendencies more than it does biblical truth. The one thing Ruth definitely did not do was wait. She didn't stay in Moab to wait for a new husband. She didn't wait for a new life to find her or even for somebody to feed her. In the spirit of every resilient woman who's been served lemons, she thought creatively, used what she had, and made lemonade. Here's where we find opportunities to learn from Ruth's story. How do we react when life slams us to the ground, when we lose our loved ones, a job, or a relationship? We have to make a choice. Will we remain crushed under the weight of it all, or will we get up, rebuild, and choose to live? Becoming a widow at a young age was not the end of Ruth's story. She knew that with God's help, there was life beyond that grief. Her life would never be the same, and perhaps neither will yours. But maybe you can move past the darkness of the moment, see what good things are waiting beyond the pain, and go after them. Ultimately, Boaz did not change Ruth's life. She changed her own life. Her transformation happened in her mind long before she ever set foot on his field. Sure, he ended up marrying her and providing much-needed economic security for her and Naomi, but not until she went after her own stability. Boaz only contributed to a story Ruth had already started writing for herself. What new story will you write for yourself? Start with the one thing you know you can do and do that. And then there's also a journaling prompt for this week. So I'm going to read it. If you want to do it later, you can. You can rewatch this when I put the training in the group chat, or you can write down the journaling prompt to fill out later, or now if you want. So it says, in what ways is Ruth an example of a person with great faith? Of taking steps to move forward when you're not sure. Are there steps you need to take in your life? What's stopping you? How can you make a plan to act in faith, even if you're not sure of the outcome? Journal your thoughts. I also think you should add in there the last question of the Devo that says, what new story will you write for yourself? And start with the one thing you know you can do and do that. Right, I'm going to pause it.